The ancient pyramids of Egypt have long been a source of controversy, sparking debates about their origins, age, and the identity of their builders. In this video, we will dive into the fascinating topic of giants who may have lived in ancient Egypt, exploring the possibility of their contact with Egyptian civilization. Thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoy this channel's content on giants in Egypt and the builders of the pyramids. Like many other Middle Eastern cultures, such as the Israelites, Canaanites, Sumerians, and Akkadians, the Egyptians had interactions with beings described as giants, a concept reflected in their sacred texts, mythology, and monumental architecture. These cultures often shared stories of colossal beings, seen as gods or demigods, who played a key role in shaping their cultural and technological advancements. In Egypt, the figure of Osiris stands out, revered for his divine attributes and his stature above mere mortals, symbolizing the influence of such beings. Similarly, Sumerian mythology describes the Anunnaki as powerful celestial entities with extraordinary abilities. These ancient narratives not only sought to explain natural phenomena and historical events from a mythical standpoint, but also highlighted the interaction between humans and the divine, leaving behind a legacy of awe and mystery that continues to intrigue modern scholars studying these ancient civilizations. In the Egyptian and Nubian context of North Africa, there are hints of interaction with beings described as giants, evidence that emerges from both archaeological records and oral traditions. The hypothesis of a deep connection between the Egyptians and these giants is supported by the theory that they worked closely together on monumental projects, such as the construction of the pyramids. This viewpoint is grounded in artistic representations and ancient texts, suggesting a significant physical and cultural presence of such beings in these societies. The idea that giants contributed their superhuman strength and advanced knowledge to the erection of the pyramids adds a fascinating dimension to the debate on how these structures were built with such precision and scale. The theory that giants ranging from 9 to 13 feet tall helped in Egyptian constructions captivates the imagination of historians and enthusiasts alike. According to this intriguing hypothesis, these extraordinary beings not only existed but also played a decisive role in erecting the pyramids, architectural wonders that continue to inspire awe and admiration to this day. The idea is that, with their supernatural strength and imposing size, these giants would have been capable of moving and positioning enormous stone blocks with an ease that would have been impossible for the humans of that era. This concept is supported by ancient accounts and legends mentioning the presence of tall beings, actively participating not only in the construction of these monumental structures, but also in the everyday life of ancient civilizations. The possibility that they collaborated directly with the Egyptians, sharing knowledge and techniques, adds an element of mystery and magic to the already enigmatic history of the pyramids. Imagining these giants working side by side with Egyptian builders under the scorching desert sun, moving blocks of stone weighing tons, is an image that challenges our understanding of ancient history and invites us to reconsider what we know about the past. The hypothesis gained momentum with the discovery of the skeleton of Pharaoh Sonat, belonging to the Third Egyptian dynasty. This Egyptian leader, affectionately nicknamed the Giant by his contemporaries, presented a majestic figure that distinguished him from his peers. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, he surpassed Ramses II, known for his powerful reign and lasting legacy, by 5 inches. This leader was not only 8 inches taller than the average man of his time, but his imposing presence bestowed upon him an aura of authority and distinction. His height, exceptional for the period, was not only a cause for admiration, but also symbolized his greatness and leadership ability, elevating him in the collective memory of his people as an almost legendary figure whose physical stature reflected his magnitude as a leader. It is important to note that in the current context, many men reach this height, but at that time they could be considered giants. These findings continue to fuel the debate on the possible presence and influence of giants in ancient Egyptian civilization. Throughout Egypt's history, numerous examples of exceptionally tall beings have been reported, excavated, and depicted in Egyptian art. Among the archaeological records that spark curiosity and debate are evidence pointing to the existence of giants in antiquity, including extraordinarily large mummified fingers, access to which has been restricted from general knowledge. These discoveries suggest the presence of beings whose height varied from 7 feet to an astounding 16 feet, approximately 4.88 meters. The magnitude of these findings is so shocking that a mummified finger has even been documented, whose size and proportions indicate it may have belonged to a being of such dimensions, with this single finger estimated to weigh around 20 kilograms, an unprecedented weight and size for any known human remains to date. Thorough research of archaeological records, ancient texts, and analysis of hieroglyphics and Egyptian art has begun to shed light on this phenomenon of giants in ancient Egypt. Sarcophagi, approximately 13 feet long along with notably large bones, have often been kept secret from the media. These archaeological findings, including impressive-sized sarcophagi and bones, are often so extraordinary that they end up being kept hidden. However, it is difficult to conceal such discoveries. One peculiar example is the famous giant finger, measuring approximately 1 foot and 5 inches long, found mummified on Egyptian soil. Estimates indicate that this finger could only belong to a being over 13 feet tall. The entire Middle East region is rich with deep legends, stories, and mythologies about giant humans, with heights ranging from approximately 10 to nearly 16 feet. Alongside sacred references in the Bible, including accounts such as Moses fleeing Egypt and facing attacks from different populations, tribes, and races of giants, like the formidable Rephaim of Canaan, as well as the race of giants known as the Anakim, among others. Historical and biblical narratives immerse us in the world of extraordinary beings who exceeded 10 feet in height, notably including the imposing figure of Goliath in the Old Testament. This giant, known for his confrontation with the young David in a story that resonates as a symbol of bravery and cunning, is just one example of references to colossal individuals in sacred writings. Moreover, the story of Og, the last king of Bashan, whose dimensions were truly astonishing, reaching over 13 feet in height and 6.5 feet in width, is also told. Such descriptions not only highlight the magnitude of these figures, but also emphasize the recurring presence of giants within cultural and religious traditions, opening a window to a past where legendary proportions walked the earth. Numerous newspaper reports and articles corroborate the reality of these giants and their races, with their enormous skeletons and bones unearthed in remarkable proportions in the biblical lands of the Middle East, Egypt, Africa, and other regions of the Middle East. Some theorists even suggest that an elite ruling class in Egypt, possibly composed of prehistoric Egyptians, also known as Kemetic Egyptians or simply Kemetic Egyptians, were seen as superhuman. Although these rulers were not giants themselves, it is very likely that they had contact with such giant beings, some of whom had elongated skulls, while others were considered almost spiritual, and some were described as true giants. Ancient legend tells that giants endowed with extraordinary strength and advanced architectural knowledge were the architects behind the pyramids of Giza. These beings, capable of handling heavy stone blocks with astonishing ease, used construction techniques lost to time to raise these wonders. With skills that went beyond mere physical strength, they meticulously planned their work, aligning it with stellar constellations, reflecting on Earth a mirror of the cosmos. During the conference, it was reported that in the year 800 AD, during the glory days of Baghdad, the great Sultan and descendant of the notable Iraqi side of the 1001 Sultan Knights, a former student of Araxide, decided to open the Great Pyramid. He was told that this monumental structure had been built by giants called Shadi, superhuman beings of imposing stature within the pyramids. They guarded not only a great treasure but also knowledge beyond human comprehension. During the conference, a surprising aspect of the ancient constructions attributed to the technology of giants was highlighted: the extraordinary precision with which the stone blocks were cut. The quality of these cuts suggests the possibility that an advanced technique, comparable to the precision of modern laser cutting, was used to sculpt them. This perfection in cutting, achieved millennia ago, raises questions about the methodologies and tools that these giants may have employed, challenging our contemporary understanding of ancient technological capabilities. The precision and finish of the blocks not only demonstrate a deep knowledge of construction, but also open the door to the hypothesis that the giant builders of antiquity had access to advanced technologies or knowledge that we still do not fully understand today. These structures were also incredibly heavy, some weighing tons, raising the possibility that only giants could transport these blocks. In the year 832 AD, Al-Mamun the Arab embarked on a journey to ancient Egypt and became the first to explore the Great Pyramid, which at that time was still wrapped in blocks of white limestone. The enigmatic nature and identity of these beings remain hidden behind a veil of mystery, weaving around names that resonate with Egyptian echoes, such as Shemsuhor, known as the followers of Horus. Beyond that, these mysterious figures could be connected to even deeper legends, such as that of Ad, marked as the monarch of the elusive Arab city of Iram, often described as a lost metropolis endowed with riches and wisdom. The mention of Shemsuhor, along with the reference to the lost city of Iram, expands the mosaic of conjectures about who these beings were. It proposes a plot where history intertwines with myth, pointing toward an elite or caste possibly endowed with superior knowledge and construction skills, guardians of ancestral secrets. This intertwining of narratives invites deeper exploration of our past, opening doors to the possibility that such beings, shrouded in mystery, left an indelible mark not only on tradition and mythology, but also on the tangible development of ancient civilizations, charting the course of human history with their acts and legacies. Within the fascinating context provided by Surah 89 of the Quran, where pillars are sometimes interpreted as giants, we find an open door to profound historical and spiritual inquiry. This Quranic reference has been the subject of analysis and debate, particularly for its potential connection with beings of colossal stature. The most compelling evidence of the existence of giants, as revealed, comes from the early archaeological expeditions in the region of ancient Egypt. These investigations shed light on a surprising reality. The members of the cult dedicated to Horus not only exercised ceremonial or religious roles, they actually constituted a dominant elite, a ruling caste that imposed its will and vision over the vast lands of the Nile. This select group, possibly endowed with unusual stature and physical capabilities, could have been perceived as giants, not only in the literal sense, but also in the realm of power and influence. The identification of such individuals with figures of enormous size may not be merely metaphorical. The records and artifacts discovered suggest that these leaders, revered almost as deities, played a crucial role in shaping Egyptian civilization, from the construction of monuments to the establishment of religious and social practices that would define the identity of ancient Egypt. The mention of pillars in the sacred text, interpreted by some as an allegory to these giants, underscores the possibility that ancient writings and narratives share a common core of historical truth intertwined with legend. These discoveries not only enrich our understanding of ancient history, but also raise stimulating questions about the nature and scope of the impact that these extraordinary beings may have had on the development and direction of the civilizations they governed. The human remains discovered were significantly larger than the typical traits of the native population. According to historians, the disparity was significant, although verifying the veracity of these accounts in books and articles is a challenge, as if true they may have been suppressed by the prevalence of biased archaeology. In the pages of the Bible, as well as in oral and written traditions of civilizations dispersed across the globe, the stories of giants resonate, beings of colossal stature whose existence intertwines with the very fabric of mythology and human history. Although the accounts vary, the Bible stands as a primary source, offering detailed testimonies that go beyond the well-known narratives of heroic confrontations. The Nephilim, mentioned in Genesis, are presented as descendants of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a lineage of giants that prefigures the symbolism of their presence on earth. This biblical backing of the idea of giants as real entities provides a solid foundation for the study and fascination with these beings. The inclusion of giants in such sacred texts suggests that their influence extended not only to physical or martial aspects, but also to spiritual and cultural dimensions, marking civilizations with their actions and possibly their teachings. The ancient Arabic manuscript known as the Book of Wonders, dated approximately between the years 900 and 1100 AD, emerges as a fascinating compilation of medieval knowledge about ancient Egypt and the vast world that preceded the Great Flood. This document, rich in narratives and descriptions, delves into the mysteries and legends of an almost mythical era, offering contemporary readers a window into the thought and imagination of medieval scholars. As readers explore its pages, they encounter tales of lost civilizations, extraordinary beings, and forgotten technologies, which together compose a tapestry of human understanding about its past and the universe that surrounds it. The Book of Wonders not only catalogues the architectural marvels and achievements of the ancient Egyptians, but also ventures further, delving into stories of giants, cities swallowed by the sea, and ancestral wisdom passed down through generations. The importance of this manuscript lies in its ability to merge history, mythology, and the science of its time into a cohesive narrative that attempts to explain the origin and destiny of humanity. Through its narratives, it offers clues about how people in the Middle Ages perceived the world and their history, reflecting a curiosity and wonder that remain relevant today. The account delves into the fascinating history of the Ads, an ancient people described as giants, suggesting that Shaddad, an emblematic figure among them, may have been one of these colossal beings. The narrative details how Shaddad, with a grand vision and a heritage of giants, embarked on the monumental task of erecting the impressive monuments of Dahshur. It is said that these structures were created using stones previously carved during the time of his father, hinting at a building tradition that extended through generations of giants. The story is further enriched by the mention of another giant who, at a later time, resumed the ambitious construction project, evidencing a continuity in their architectural efforts and a legacy of extraordinary skills. This account not only highlights the prowess and advanced construction knowledge of the Ads, but also paints a picture of their society, one in which the giants not only dominated the physical landscape with their impressive works, but also wove the fabric of their culture and achievements over time. The inclusion of Shaddad in this narrative illustrates his central role not only as a builder, but as a bearer of the vision and ambition of his people. His eagerness to use carved stones from previous eras reveals a deep respect for the legacy and traditions of his lineage, while underscoring the importance of cultural continuity and the utilization of accumulated resources and knowledge. This story, rich in symbolism and history, invites reflection on the enduring impact of ancient civilizations and how their achievements continue to resonate through the centuries. Furthermore, the manuscript highlights that another giant deposited secrets in the pyramids of Dahshur and other pyramids to imitate what had already been done. The ancient city of Dendra, whose origins date back to millennia, stands as a testament to the ingenuity and architectural ambition of the ancient Egyptians. Among its most notable structures are the Red Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid, monuments that stand out for their uniqueness and beauty, erected under the reign of Pharaoh Sneferu around 2600 BC. This period marks a turning point in the evolution of Egyptian architecture, with Sneferu, a visionary ruler and prolific builder, who not only expanded the territorial boundaries of his kingdom, but also propelled the transformation of the landscape with these imposing edifices. The Red Pyramid, so named for the reddish tone of its limestone, is celebrated as the first true smooth-sided pyramid in Egypt, representing a milestone in the development of such funerary structures. On the other hand, the Bent Pyramid, known for its unusual change in the angle of its sides, reflects an ambitious architectural experiment that, although it did not result as initially expected, demonstrates the boldness and innovation of the builders of the time. These pyramids served not only as monumental tombs for the eternal rest of the pharaoh, but also symbolized the divine authority of the ruler and his connection with the gods. The construction of these pyramids during Sneferu's reign illustrates the advanced level of mathematical, astronomical, and engineering knowledge that the ancient Egyptians possessed, enabling them to create structures that have defied the passage of time. Dendra, with its pyramids, becomes an emblem of the greatness of ancient Egypt, offering historians and visitors a window into the glorious past of a civilization that, through its monumental achievements, continues to fascinate the contemporary world. It will also feature highly decorated pillars dedicated to the Egyptian goddess Hathor. Continuing with the text, it is mentioned that the first king of Egypt, just after the flood, along with his companions, built monuments, erected tall towers, and performed wonderful works. The city of Memphis, in turn, was a later work carried out by a group of giants in the service of King Diem-Ren, notable for being the same term used in Hebrew and Aramaic for one of the sons of Ham, the father of the African peoples. Interestingly, throughout the first millennium BC, giants began to disappear from Egyptian records. This can be attributed in part to the often tumultuous relationship between giants and the ancient Egyptians. As the giants sought worship, war at times attempted to dominate and destroy. Despite these interactions, the accounts asserted that the Great Pyramids of ancient Egypt were created with the help of ancient giants. I hope you enjoy this information. This is all for today. I hope you liked this intriguing, clarifying story about the giants and the pyramids. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos on this topic and share with others. Best regards. See you soon.